once I saw the situation when one company changed only one piece into the asset, and they saved like 3 million euro for this because it was like very expensive part of the machine. So they just find only the cheaper version of it, and they just start producing the another spare parts, and that's all. And then you can see the financial outcomes because the costs are lower and the production is also lower in this case. So.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Dynaway Dialogues. I'm your host, Jesse Zadanek. Pleased to have you here. Today, I'm pleased that we have Magdalena Dygas here with us, and she is one of our Business Central senior consultants at Dynaway. And Magdalena has joined us a few months ago. She's dived right in. She has extensive experience in financial process optimization and ERP systems. We're excited to have her today. Welcome.
Hello, but you can just call me Magda because I just prefer the shorter version of my name, so that would be better.
Yeah, no problem, Magda. So let's kind of jump into it. Tell us a little bit about your career, how you got started in the ERP space, how you eventually sort of decided to transition to maintenance and maintenance management with Dynaway. What's your career path look like?
Yeah, okay. So basically, I started with the studies. So, and I was on the university with the finance and accounting. So it means that I was completely on a different area than I'm doing right now.
Right.
And yeah, and was working as accountant for like 6 years. And I was mostly responsible for like posting all the documents. Later on, I was like moved with my career with being on the accounting side. So I was like chief of the accountant for some of the company. I was working for a couple of years for the accounting offices. And in meantime, I also do some internships. So I was working in audit, and I was like living in Italy that time. So I was working for auditing in Bologna. And yeah, and then I decided just to change the company, and I was working with one of the accounting office, where they have also the implementation team for the Navision that time. And when I was working with one of my accounting client, I was like very talking with them a lot, and I was like I put a lot of energy in my work and so on. And my boss asked me that if I maybe would like to be a consultant because I have like more personal, like for more character. Oh yeah, I'll call this way. I have like character to be a consultant, not the accountant, because accountant's kind of boring job. Sorry for all the accountants, but this is not for me. Just sitting and typing all the documents or calculating the taxes or changing the law and so on. And I have like more talkative person, so I like to sharing my experience, sharing the knowledge and so on. And because I got very good connection with all of my clients, my boss thought maybe I will be also a good consultant. And I already knew the system. I understand the accounting. So then I just start implement at first the Polish localization because it was simpler for me. I understand the area, I understand the law, so I was speaking the accounting language because this is kind of the language, especially in Poland, that the Polish accountant is like very theoretical type of the person. And then I just start implementing the whole modules of the finance and so on. And after a couple of years, I also like managing the business central team in one of the big 4 companies. And after like a couple of years, my colleague Krzysztof asked me if maybe I would like to join his team and now start working with the maintenance so I can get the experience with the another area. And I'm happy to be here right now. And now I can just combine my old experiences into the Dynaway.
Yeah. So you've worked a lot in finance, and now you're sort of have a new focus area, operations and maintenance. And how's that been? I mean, is that difficult? Has it been exciting? What kind of transition has it been?
For me, it's always exciting because I like to changing the areas because I have like another knowledge. I have like then I can get the people from another area of the world, so they are like working on a different stand. They are accounting people, and still they have to connect to accounts because they are working in the ERP system and they need to connect some finances. And so it's good to understand what is like at the end, and even to talk to financial teams on the company who like implement the maintenance module right now, because it still connects somehow. And the other side, it's nice to, as I already said, that's nice to get another part of the world, of the business world, what they are doing, what they are working on. And it's quite interesting, to be honest, because they have like very interesting cases every day and so on. So, yeah, I think
The
it's
people.
mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say, I bet the people are different. Like you're in your previous world, you're talking to finance people, right? Accountants. Now you're talking probably mostly to operations people. Kind of a different personality. Has that been an easy transition, hard, or just different? What's that like?
I think it's not hard because I get used to work with the people in general, and
Mm-hmm.
people are different in they have a different characters, they have a different path of knowledge, what they would like to learn and how fast they would like to learn the new system. So they sometimes the people just prefer to spend more time on one topic and they need more explanations. So I think that people like different in general, and you have to know and you have to see who is on the other side and how fast they are getting, what kind of explanation they need, and what kind of language you have to use with them. So sometimes for the accounting you have to use like accounting, for the maintenance maybe it's kind of maintenance, but still they are working in the ERP, and this is the same ERP for both of them. And the language and the examples I'm using to explain how they should get there, it's kind of different.
Gotcha. So, Magdalena, I can see that you have just a wealth of Microsoft training and certificates. I think you're a certified trainer. You also have some other Microsoft certifications. Can you? I don't want to read them all here, but let me or explain to us kind of what you are trained in and how that kind of affects your day-to-day interactions with people.
Yeah, I have like the certificate for the functional consultant associate. So it's called MB 800. And this is like the one who is dedicated for the consultant with the higher experience, let's say, the knowledge about the system. And this is like proof they can operate into the business central. They are like up to date with the new functionalities because this certificate needs to be renewed every year. So the question on this change on the test is they are changed and they are adding the new stuff. So you have to be up to date. So they have to understand the system. And the MCT, it's just the documents that prove that you are trained with the Microsoft skills, that you are able to teach another people with the Microsoft tools. And to get the second one, you need also the certificate from the training skills. So to get the MCT, at first you need to pass one of the Microsoft certification that to prove that you are we are experienced enough and with one of the topic you are going to train the other people. And you need also the another certificate which is like dedicated for the trainers. So I was like passing one of them. So I did the course for being a trainer, and now I have like the skills. And this is the proof that I'm qualified with both areas.
Yeah. So that sounds difficult to achieve. If there's others out there listening to this, would you give them some advice on how to go about becoming certified like yourself?
I think this is the experience, to be honest, because the certificate provided the proof that you are experienced enough and you know the system. So to be honest, you can learn all the questions by memory, and then you can go to the exam and you can pass this exam. But this is not the proof that you know the system and you know how to work on them. So I think this certificate needs to be passed by the people who already like learn it and they know what to do in Business Central, and they can just go to the companies and they can answer for all the questions without thinking even like how to do it, or maybe sometimes they have to think because it's maybe difficult topic to get right away. But still, if someone asks about the Business Central, they need to answer without checking into the internet or even ask the ChatGPT or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, if you feel that you are qualified enough and you know have this knowledge, you should take the certificate and then you can just show it to the companies you are working on that you have it and you earn it because you are a good consultant, not because you learn the question by memory. So.
Exactly. Gotcha. Well, let's transition a little bit. I know that you're have a lot of experience in BC and on the financial platform now with Dynaway. Your focus area has changed a little bit with the maintenance teams and operations and how to maintain equipment. What would you say is kind of the benefit there? How do companies benefit from having both modules in place, and what have you seen in the real world out there?
Basically, Business Central is not dedicated for the maintenance, so you can manage the fixed assets over there. So you have some
Right.
assets, you can see the financial outcome of those assets. So you can just purchase them, you can see what is the value of it, you can just depreciate it, or you can do all the finance operations. But still, you cannot manage them in the case of the like preventive work. So, or you cannot check what was the cost of the maintenance. You can do, of course, some basic maintenance cost postings, and then you can check them. But you do not know exactly what they come from, what the job was, who did it, or maybe if you need more details about this asset, like what is the spare parts used for the fixing this asset or whatever. So there is no this kind of information. So Dynaway helps also managing the assets during the whole cycle of life this asset into the company, and you have more details about it, so you can even manage and you can just send the request to fix something, clean something, or do whatever if to be done with this fixed assets and without touching the financial model. So
Mm-hmm. Have you seen that, because I know you work with workflows, financial workflows a lot, have you seen an example out there in the real world where um, there's a common financial mistake that's made, but EAM makes that actually better and makes it more visible across the enterprise?
for me, the biggest mistake is like not collecting this data at all. So
Yeah.
if you have only like the generic costs related to the assets, so okay, just purchase the assets, or maybe I just fix the asset, I hire someone to move the asset to another place, but I do not see the total outcome of those costs, and I don't know what they are comes from. So if I do not have these details, I can see only, okay, I just generated the cost, but maybe I can just make them somehow lower because I can just think twice if I really need it, or I just need to change something, or maybe there is a spare parts which is like cheaper on the market, or I do not see even the values, how many spare parts do I have on my warehouses, because they are just like mixed together with all the stock I have in my company.
hmm Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. I work a lot on the other platform, Microsoft platform F&O, and we always say, you can't improve what you don't measure. And if you're not capturing that data, measuring who did what at the granular level, then that data is lost, and obviously the ability to analyze that data is lost.
Yes.
So I can totally understand. Super. So now that you're kind of in the operations world and in the maintenance side of things, are there some metrics that you're finding your customers like to utilize, understand, and how that helps them?
Uh, what they maybe all the details they need to understand, like for example, how many spare parts do we have on warehouse and how much do I need it for the fixing, because sometimes I can just purchase I don't know 1,000 of those spare parts, but I just do not need them, so I'm just creating the overstocks, and overstock just always cost most because I have to pay for putting them into the warehouse, spending money to keep them over there and so on. And if I have all the details, I know how much do I need to purchase, and then I'm just only purchasing the parts I really need, so I do not have the cost of additional cost. I maybe need the metrics, how much do I need to pay for additional work, so maybe I need to hire the contractor, so maybe I can check which one is the cheaper one, because last time I just overpaid to someone, and then I can check, okay, for fixing this asset I just pay this contractor this kind of money, so maybe I can just check and I can see, okay, there is someone cheaper on the market. Or maybe I just paying a lot for the same kind of contractor job, so maybe I will hire someone on this place, and then the cost will be also like lower. Or I can just see how much do my people spend on the job, because I assuming maybe they will need to spend 5 hours and they always spending 10, so let's ask them what's going on, where is the problem. So I can see they did it, because without those data I cannot say anything. Okay, they spent 10 hours and I do not know where they were, for what kind of job, and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that's excellent. Tell me though, have you seen situations where companies are trying to decide whether they should continue to repair or replace a particular asset? Does I'm sure you've seen situations where companies are trying to do that with the financial data that they're gathering, but how can maintenance data, I guess, go alongside financial data, and how do companies manage that situation?
Yeah, I saw it like several times, because I'm just trying to always explain if we are, let's say, starting the project and we are just talking with the financial people. So maybe we can just show them how to get this kind of information, and how they can just maybe compare if is it like cheaper to replace something, or maybe it's just cheaper to fix it. So at first let's collect the information from the previous job, so how much did I spend for the fixing, and
Yeah.
how much is it exactly worth, and I can just compare and then I can just maybe predict, okay, if I just spend this kind of money on the last maintenance job and the asset is worth like half of it, so it means maybe I just have to think about it and maybe replace it, or maybe I have to find the cheaper spare parts, because I can just see, okay, I just did the replacement of one part, and this one part is quite expensive, so let's see, maybe it's a cheaper one on the market. Once I saw the situation when one company changed only one piece into the asset, and they saved like 3 million euro for this, because it was like a very expensive part of the machine. So they just find only the cheaper version of it, and they just start producing the another spare parts, and that's all. And then you can see the financial outcomes, because the costs are lower and the production is also lower in this case. So
Yeah. I bet you were a hero. That's a big financial savings just for a minor change, right? Excellent.
this small change,
Good.
but the outcome is huge. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I found that that's kind of where consultants can really open the eyes of companies that they're working with, is they can really identify areas where small changes can mean big financial rewards or big changes within the company as far as production and other things go. So, a good consultant like yourself can really make an impact on a company in a short amount of time.
And sometimes we can even show the financial world they have maintenance team in the company, and they also producing some costs. So maybe let's see what kind
Right.
of cost they are producing.
Right.
This is not only like the salary of all the people they are hiring over there, but they
Right.
also like purchasing something. They need to spend the money for traveling, maybe, or whatever.
Or,
So yeah,
or
this
managing.
is. And
Yes.
managing this, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Managing,
Yeah.
they have to like they have to some spare parts use. They have some hours spent of work to do some jobs. So it's quite
Exactly.
interesting.
Good. Good. So let's transition to Dynaway Connect. I know you're going to be a speaker at Connect in this year. We're excited to hear what you have to say. Can you share a little bit about your session and what you're going to give us a hint on what you're going to talk about?
Yeah, I'm also happy to go there and talk a bit about the finance and the maintenance. And I think like it's quite interesting because I believe most of the audience will be the maintenance teams, and they are not like connected with the finance. So I will try to explain them. They can also check the financial data, and they can also use it for making the maintenance decision, like replacing the parts, or maybe hiring some cheaper contractors, or maybe checking the contracts they have already into the company with additional third parts, and so on. So I would like to basically focus on the cost in the maintenance, and maybe I will cover as well the budgeting, how to compare the actual cost with, and how to predict the budget for those costs, and later on how to connect them, because every year the budget needs to be updated. So maybe after all they can see if they can just save something, or they can maybe put some additional decision with the teams.
Gotcha. Yeah, fantastic. Last question, I guess, maybe next to the last question, but what do you think about conferences like this? Is it rewarding for your customers to go out and actually be at an in-person conference like this? And there's so much online and so much virtual. What's the benefit in your experience to actually, going someplace and putting your feet on the ground?
Yeah, and from my experience on the conferences, I think this is not only the speakers are important, they can know each other, because I think even if we are like consultants, we are doing I hope the best job for like implement the solution, but they have a different problems, and they can know people with the same area. So maybe someone else solved the problem in a different way because they have an experience in the same area. So they can know each other, they can share the knowledge, and this is not possible to connect, I think, in the online world, because you have to type the other companies, trying to find the people working in the maintenance team, and maybe share the problems with them. I think there are probably some websites or some like pages somewhere that you can create this kind of group and you can discuss the maintenance problems, but this is not the same as you are like sharing the knowledge and talking to each other on live, or not only to the speakers, as I said, but the clients to each other, because they have the experience, they have the knowledge, and to be honest, they are teaching us about their job, and then we are using it to help the other people, and in this case they can just help to each other.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. That's why we created the conference in the first place. Super. Okay, last question. You lived in Italy. It's on my bucket list. Where should I go when I go?
We are like talking today about all the cliches, so yeah, you have to visit Rome, because this is like I think the most important place, but not this year because I heard there is like so many renovations, and of course Florence, Siena, the biggest species, and I can say that Bologna is pretty great because I was living in Bologna. And the first city I visited in Italy, it was Milan, and I think this is like very close to my heart because of that. So I always love Milan as well. Yeah, so I think there is like a lot of places to be honest. So if you will go there, like go for like 1 month and just travel around and see all the other places, like, and to visit also the islands, Sicily and Sardinia. Yeah, so it's pretty good.
I've got to get a month off from Dynaway now. Yeah.
And go on a diet right now, because I believe you will just get a lot of weight because of pizza, pasta, and and this kind of stuff. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, living in Italy. I always want to buy a house in Italy, and with my husband. So I'm trying to convince him.
Yeah. So now Bologna, it's on my list. I'm high on my list because of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Magda. I appreciate your time today, and that wraps it up for this episode. Please remember to like, subscribe, hit the links for the episode and for Dynaway, and we'll see you next time on Dynaway Dialogues. Thanks, Magda.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.